Totally forgot I wanted to go to the it's a yarn store and cloth store. So my idea is I would really like to make some little notion pouches. I'm not sure that I am gonna get to that. So I am currently 2 days behind in editing Vlogmas. Yesterday was a really hard day for my son being sick. This morning he woke up and here, oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. So this morning he woke up and was doing a lot better. He slept great last night. We did the wet sock method. Again, I'm not a doctor, not recommending this, just sharing what we did. So it's where you put your feet in hot water. Like this is just right before you go to bed. So he soaked his feet in hot water for about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, his socks were in ice water, like just thin cotton socks were in ice water. And then you take your feet out of the hot water, put on your, like you wring out the socks, then you put the cold socks on your feet, and then you cover them with wool socks. And what that does is it helps blood circulation. Now this is just what I understand. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, this is just what I've been reading about it, is that like it helps circulation and helps your body to heal. So it, like he fell asleep very quickly. It's supposed to like pull that congestion out of your chest and your head. He slept 11 hours last night all the way through. I checked on him a couple times to see how he was doing, and he was not having a hard time breathing. He wasn't congested. Like he slept solid. So it totally worked for us. When he woke up this morning, he woke up right before he left, so I didn't really get to talk with him too much about it, but the socks were dry. So they say that like the socks dry after about 4 hours. I wasn't going to go in there and check. But yeah, socks were dry. And then like your feet are supposed to be very warm after that because of just like your body is working to warm up your feet, and so you're circulating that blood. It was amazing. So yeah, I mean, it seemed like before I left, like he was doing a lot better today. So last night I was gonna film myself doing the sourdough, right? Making the dough for the sourdough. And he, like all of a sudden, just got a bloody nose. And I think it's just because, like, even though his nose doesn't seem like it's dry, it is dry, like, because it's just all impacted and everything. And so, like, it wasn't stopping, and, like, I probably panicked a little bit, but there was no need to panic. And, like, I finally just, after a few minutes, kind of, like, stopped panicking because it wasn't helping. Not that, like, I wasn't showing him that I was panicked, but you know what I mean. Like, just inside, I'm like, oh, one more thing. Poor guy. And so, like, right at that same time is when I wasn't gonna film all that and whatnot. So anyways, I'll try to take you guys along with me today. But the sourdough, I did get the dough started. I've not checked on it this morning because I woke up late, just because I've been having a hard time sleeping as well. So I woke up late and then just kind of had to run out the door. But I'll check on the sourdough dough and make sure that it's risen, and if so, then we'll bake that this morning. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna head on in to the store. It's opening here in 1 minute. We'll see if I can get these little Notion pouches made up or not, but hopefully, like, today really I just need to edit. Oh, I was gonna tell you one more thing. So we had a full day today. We had our New Testament class that I teach. I was supposed to teach that this morning at my house. It was like our end of the semester little get together, a celebration of what we've learned. We were going to be doing like trivia and all this stuff, and couldn't do that because my son is sick. Like, he started a fever yesterday and came back, and then my son is supposed to have a chemistry class today. Again, like their end of the year party or end of the semester party. Couldn't go to that. So we, like, our whole schedule today just completely opened up. So hoping to, like, number one on the list is to get those Vlogmases, the bread made, the Vlogmases done, and then hopefully the Notion pouches. We'll see how it goes. clean car is definitely one of my favorite things right now. So, and with the, I use like quick quack car wash. So it's just like a monthly fee. It's totally worth it for me, because especially like with the drought in California, it's not really great to, like, I would use so much more water to wash my car, and the vacuums that they have make it go so fast. So like with dog hair, it'll take me probably a good like hour to vacuum out all the dog hair, but their vacuums are just so fast that I can do it all in like 5 minutes. It's amazing. So clean car for the win. Feeling a bit overwhelmed today. Just got home from the chiropractor, the car wash, the fabric store, all of that. And I just know that I have so much to do today. And I'm feeling too like I don't have a direction for Christmas gifts. Like we have some stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like I should be doing a lot more, and the schedule is just a little bit open right now, which feels odd because I think it's just gonna all come crashing in like a couple days. But anyways, so my tactic when I'm feeling overwhelmed to stay motivated is to make a list. So I got these little things in I got them on Amazon. I don't recommend them. They're not very sticky. I kind of thought that they would be good like book tabs and stuff like that. They're not sticky. They just like kind of fall apart. So instead of just throwing them away, what I do is I make a list. Like I'll just keep it here on the paper, and then I'll pull it off when it's done. So I'm gonna make a list of my top 5 things to do right now, and might even put on one of my little 5 things to knit for 15 minutes. I don't know, sometimes that helps to keep me motivated as well, to just stop and rest for a minute. So they'll be in no particular order, just as they come to my mind, and then I will just pull them off as I do them. And then it just kind of helps me to see the progress that I've made, because sometimes when I just have so much to do and it's things that just don't get noticed, or like that don't feel like I've gotten anything done. So it helps me. It's a mental game, but it helps, whatever helps, right? Okay, so made my list, got one thing on my list done, and we are actually gonna go knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. We're gonna plan out our stockings, have a date, and I'm gonna knit in the car on the way there and back, which should be my 15 minutes of knitting. So actually 3 birds with 1 stone. So date for the win. Sourdough has hit its peak. Let's see if you can see this here. Do you see all these bubbles and everything? So it has risen quite a bit as before, but it almost seems like at this point it's just starting to go back down, and I don't, like, I may have even waited a tiny bit too long, but we're gonna go ahead and do the last 2 steps of this. So I'm going to put it in a ball right now, and then like you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then then I'm gonna put it in like a bantan basket, and then let that sit for an hour, and then I'll cook it. And we should have fresh bread for dinner tonight. All right. I should totally have my apron on right now, but that's okay. Like, you can see these huge bubbles in here. You probably couldn't see that, but there are. Done with this one. Okay, so I'm doing like my final folds, and it doesn't need to be aggressive. I'm just pulling and folding, pulling and folding. And then I'm kind of scooping it all underneath, and I'm using the friction on my countertop to tighten it all up. So like, there's not a whole lot of flour here. It's kind of why I moved it off to the side and put some on my hands. But I'm just like cupping it and pulling it and pushing it. And then I'm gonna sit this in the flour now and just let that rest for 5 minutes. And then while that's resting, so my dog, she's probably not gonna stop, so we'll try. So I didn't want the bantan look on the sourdough tonight, so I'm wrapping, just putting a cloth towel, like a cotton towel in there, and I'm going to sprinkle flour pretty liberally on it because you definitely don't want it to stick. So I feel like the lighting in here is really bad. It might be. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna take this now and put it in the basket. I'm gonna flip it upside down. So this here is the top part, which also you want on the towel. So it goes top side down. I feel like I need some more flour on this side over here. I thought I might. Okay, so there we go. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna cover it again. Where did my cover go for this? I don't know. I'll cover it, and it's just gonna sit for 1 hour about. It might take a little bit longer, but it's about 4:15. So I'll probably start cooking at about 5:15, 5:30, but I do want it to rise a little bit here, not a lot, but you just want to see activity is kind of how I do it. So, all right, you guys, the oven is preheating and we have a moment of truth. I checked this out and it has definitely risen. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's like it's airy. It has risen, not a ton, but that's okay because it'll rise more in the oven. So from here, what I do is I take my parchment paper and I have a big, giant Dutch oven. It's a 5-quart, I think, a 5-quart Dutch oven. Maybe. Sounds about right. I don't know. So I kind of pinch like the sides of my bowl with the parchment paper just so that it'll sit in there better. All right, and then I'm just gonna flip it over. The idea is that you don't want your towel to stick, and it's not. So did a good job with the flour. And now you want to slice the top of it open. Not open, sorry, that's weird. But you just want to create some slices on the top. You go about 1/4 of an inch, if I am remembering correctly. So you need a sharp blade. If you don't do that, it will just crack on the top naturally, which isn't bad either, but the designs are pretty cool too. So, I don't know. I'll just wing it here. And then I put it in my Dutch oven. And I just kind of push the parchment paper away from it. I don't know if it matters or not. And then put the lid on. That was the oven, totally preheated. And I need to take out the top rack, actually. I forget to do that. But. All right, in we go. All right, so it'll cook like that for 25 minutes, and then I will take the lid off and cook it for another 20 minutes. So in 45 minutes, we will have hot sourdough bread, and like super high hopes for this because I have been craving this bread. I mean, you've seen, this has been like a 3-day process, partly because it's cold, partly just when I started things on the days that I started them. My sourdough starter just needed a little extra time because it has been dormant as well for so long. So we'll see how it goes.